Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is June 22nd, 2021, and it is Tuesday. So, of course, we are here for another NXT post show. The Cruiserweight division is about to get real crazy here in NXT, and I saw the writing on the wall, man. I saw it earlier today, and I did not put two and two together, but man, I'm excited for this. Diamond Mine, I didn't think it was going to be that great. I thought it was going to be a bunch of no-name people. And man, I was wrong. They hit it out of the park, man. Roderick Strong is back. Tyler Rust is back. Malcolm Bivens is back. And I forget the other guy's name. Oh God, hold on. Let me not butcher this. I don't want to butcher this. Hideki Suzuki is the other guy. I'm not familiar with him, but man, I am excited. I am very excited. Let me know what you guys thought about tonight's episode of NXT in the chat, and let me shout out everyone that is here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Cool Guy, how are you doing? My friend Fickle is here as well. Revel, how are you doing? He says, Hideki Suzuki, check him out. He's a hard hitter. I'm excited to see. I'm very excited to see. He's in very good company at the moment. Very good company. Chris, how you doing, my friend? He says, underwhelming. I thought Roddy was going to the main roster, and also don't care too much for Bivens as a manager. Man, I love Malcolm Bivens, man. Malcolm Bivens could do no wrong to me. And you know what? These pictures, I forgot to change them back to being like really long. They're rotating way too fast. Okay, there we go. Fixed it. Yeah, man. I think Roderick Strong still has a little bit of time in NXT. And of course, if they're putting these guys in the cruiserweight division, I'm excited for it. This brings life to the cruiserweight division. And I'll talk about that as soon as we're done doing little shout outs and whatever else. Fickle says, I wonder if Triple H has any plans NXT to have actual live fans again. That would be great. I'm sure they do. They probably had somewhere around 300 people there today or whatever it was. I saw some people. Asher says Roderick Strong is back and he brought his own Undisputed Era. Yes, sir. Obi James, how you doing, my friend? Maddie says, as soon as they doubt NXT, they give me Malcolm Bivens, Roderick Strong, and in my opinion, the most underutilized wrestler in NXT, Tyler Rust. It's an exciting group, man. It's a really exciting group. Latrell, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. It's been a while. Marcel says, will NXT get the too many factions criticisms now? Oh God. I'll never understand people not being able to follow stables and stuff in AEW. I don't get it. It's not confusing to me, but I don't know. Safa says the cruiserweight division is going to the moon. Yes, sir, it is. It's crazy, man. Rebel says NXT has Hit Row, Legado, and Diamond Mine. Chris says, but I have a fear that Hit Row will try to recruit Carmelo Hayes. It's obvious. Carmelo Hayes, man. What a great showing. Bozeman says Roderick Strong. That's it. That's the comment. Yes. Anthony says got some Shield vibes. All right. I see it. Fickle said, oh, that was to someone else. Ashley says I thought Arturo Ruas would have fit perfectly with Diamond Mine. I don't know. Okay. We'll talk about this in a minute. Because I have some things that I thought that it was, and maybe we haven't seen all of Diamond Mine yet. So we'll talk about that in just a second. Maddie says the cruiserweight division should be renamed to the faction division. It was a bad joke, but there are like 3 factions. Fair enough. Yeah, I see where you're going. I never in my wildest dreams would I have thought someone like Roderick Strong would be involved in the cruiserweight division. But I really like it. I like it a lot. Marcel says Raw got positive reviews yesterday. Yeah, I saw that some people liked it, but you know what? I peeped it on Twitter, and no, it's not for me. I like some of the outcomes that they did. Being Morrison winning and Ricochet winning and stuff like that, but man, there's still a lot of really bad stuff. And the Nikki Cross thing, like I understand, I get that it's her idea, like that's cool and all, but like that doesn't mean I have to like it. And that doesn't mean maybe she could prove me wrong, but to me, I'm not here for that. I'm not here for Dewdrop. Man, the only thing that I heard that I liked that I saw about Raw was Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle. I believe that match, from what I understand, had a clean finish and it was great. So I like that. I like Matt Riddle getting the win. And then Bobby Lashley and Xavier Woods. Like, that match doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm not necessarily sure how all of that came about. But I like that had a clean finish, and I like that Xavier Woods got an opportunity because I'm a huge fan of Xavier Woods. Like, that guy is extremely talented, and it's hard to say that he is like underappreciated or underrated or anything because, of course, he's a part of the New Day, and the New Day has been pushed to the moon and back, but as a singles wrestler, man, I think Woods has so much to offer. I think that Woods would be an incredible King of the Ring winner. I think that he would be an incredible mid-card champion, whether that be the United States Championship or the Intercontinental Championship. I think he could have an incredible run with one of those. And, maybe even have Woods win the mid-card title, have him have a little run with it, and then put him in that King of the Ring tournament, have him win it, and have it propel him up to that main event scene, man, that's something that I would just absolutely love, man. I would absolutely love that. Hoodie says the diamond mine is going to the moon, and yesterday is my birthday. Well, happy late birthday, my friend. Hope you had a great birthday. And yeah, diamond mine, man. Yes, I'm so excited for diamond mine. Maddie says, yeah, Raw was better than usual. Really good wrestling, some off finishes, but way better than previous weeks. That's good. And you know, I'm happy. I'm more than happy to see them doing Money in the Bank qualifying matches as well. I like that. I like that a lot. It's the least that you could do. The least that you could do. To have Money in the Bank qualifying matches. Anthony says, what the hell is the battery charge? I have no clue, my friend. I have no clue. I think that it might be oh my god, why can't I think of her name right now? Hold on a second, let me Google it. Tegan Knox. I'm thinking Tegan Knox. Jose says Nikki's just gonna get made fun of when fans come back. I mean, she might be able to pull it off. She might be able to. You know, it's okay. So the thing that I've seen is a lot of people are like, hey, yeah, but like Hurricane made Hurricane happen, right? And it was great. And yeah, that's true. Hurricane was great. Or at least me personally, I enjoyed Hurricane. But we're in different times. That was like 15 years ago. And he was able to get it over. So, you know, if she's able to, more power to her. But when you just see it, it's not something that I'm interested in seeing. I mean, I'm 31 years old, man. Like, I'm not interested in seeing people dress up like superheroes in wrestling. Like, wrestling is supposed to have some sort of realism to it. Like, it's supposed to be believable. You're supposed to watch it and be like, this is real, everything that's going on and all of this stuff. So, like, I don't know. It takes me all the way out of it. And then when you pair her with Alexa Bliss as well, where it's like, what? Didn't they were like best friends and then they had a feud? But like, I don't know, man. Like it's just it's too much for me, man. It's too much. Marcel says, did I see the Hangman cocaine trip? Yes, I have a video of it. I captured it. I'm gonna post it. I think I'm gonna have to go to Full Gear or All Out this year. I think I'm gonna have to. Whenever that match gets made, I gotta be there. I have to be in the building when Hangman takes the title off Kenny. Chris says the Charger could be Tegan Knox, Daniel Bryan, Keith Lee, Ridge Holland, Danny Burch, or Parker. Tegan Knox, I would say yes. Daniel Bryan, probably not. Keith Lee, no. Ridge Holland, maybe Ridge Holland. I heard that he was at the Performance Center training. Danny Burch, I have no idea. Maybe. Parker Bordeaux, probably not. No, probably not. From everything that I've heard about Parker is that he's not even close to being ready. Trevor says, what's shocking is that Raw posted upcoming matches for next week. I know. I commented on their post and I said, I'm proud of you. I'm shocked. I'm proud. No, Ridge Holland is not like fully back yet, but I believe he's training to come back. And he was really big. I think he was going to be a huge thing on NXT until he got that crazy injury. So I'm glad to see that he's okay. Glad to see that he's taking those steps to get back into it. That's great. Elvis says, I think the next superstars that will join the men's Money in the Bank match from SmackDown are Cesaro, Big E, Sami Zayn, and Apollo. Man, as long as it's not Drew McIntyre, I don't really care. I just don't want. I don't even want Drew McIntyre in the Money in the Bank match, if I'm being honest with you. If Drew McIntyre gets in the Money in the Bank ladder match and then wins it, like I get it, right? It's the whole guy lost match and can't challenge for the world championship again, but like, I've defied all odds and I have won the unthinkable. I have won Money in the Bank, and now guess what? I can challenge for that world championship again. So it's kind of like, do I want that story with someone who's been in the main event on my TV for a year and a half? No, not necessarily. And like, for me, I don't even watch Monday Night Raw, and I feel like Drew McIntyre is just all over everything. I don't know. I'm over Drew McIntyre being in the WWE championship scene. I need him to like chill for just a little bit, you know, do something else, do anything else for just a little bit. Okay. Just a little bit. You can come back and do all this stuff, but something leads me to, I don't know. It's just a gut feeling, but I feel like Drew McIntyre is going to end up winning Money in the Bank, and then he's going to beat Bobby Lashley in front of fans. I don't know. Safa says they said even if Drew wins Money in the Bank, he can't cash in on Lashley. Really? So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. I don't know. But I will probably be returning to watch Monday Night Raw here pretty soon. I think when is their first episode with fans? Like the 16th? I think, right? WWE Raw with fans. Whatever that episode is probably what I'm going to start watching again. Monday Night Raw with fans returning to Amway Center this summer. Yeah, what date is that though? August 9th? July 19th? So yeah, I think that's probably when I'll start watching if it's July 19th. So about another month, 4 more episodes. I think I'll be returning, and then we're gonna have to change things up a little bit. Of course, because there will be usually what I've been doing. And actually, let me get this out of the way too. If there's any people in here that watch the game streams, I wasn't able to do AOW Underground yesterday. So here is the schedule for the rest of the week. Tomorrow on Wednesday, in the time slot that Dynamite would be on, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to do AOW Underground on Wednesday. And that is because Dynamite is not on Friday. It's on Saturday this week. So we can go back to doing the normal thing of having FFBW on Friday, and everything will be great and everything will be working fine. But yeah, so when I return to watching Raw and SmackDown, I'm not sure if I'm going to do live coverage for them. I might start doing live coverage for them, but I'll be doing video reviews, and that's probably going to be around the first time the fans come back. So we'll have to figure out how to continue AOW Underground and FFBW if they're going to move to, I don't know, Thursday and Saturday, or if they're just going to be later in the night. I don't know. It's something that we'll have to figure out, because I want people that FFBW is certainly the least popular of the two, but a lot of people are really into AOW Underground and helping book it. So I would prefer to find a good time that works for everyone else so that they can watch and participate. Chris says, I'm going to be on SmackDown on the 16th. First fans back. That's going to be a great show, man. That should be a great show. Fans are going to be going crazy. I had a great time at Dynamite and Double or Nothing when I was in Florida. Just for like more than anything, for the normalcy alone, man. Just like being around people and just hearing crowds go crazy for things. It was so crazy, man. So you're going to have a blast. I hope that they go all out for you. And I think if I heard correctly, they're going to have some people there, right? Like they want to have John Cena there or something like that, I believe. So you could be in for a really good show. Safa says they've been teasing the hell out of Bronson Reed and Swerve Scott. Swerve going to take the title at the next takeover. I hope not. But if he does, I certainly think that means that's the end for Bronson Reed in NXT. Which is something that maybe we should talk about a little bit before we get into it. So Karrion Kross and Scarlett and Bronson Reed were backstage on Friday Night SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. While they were backstage for Raw, they had for SmackDown they had dark matches for Vince to watch, I'm assuming, or some shit. I don't necessarily know. Doesn't make the most sense to me. But on Monday they actually filmed for main event, and Karrion Kross took on Shelton Benjamin, and Bronson Reed took on Drew Gulak, which is very, very, very weird for me. Does that diminish the value of Kross and Reed to be put on main event, a show that I still don't even know what day it's on. And I think it's on Hulu, but I can't be certain. Like, does that diminish the NXT World Champion? NXT Champion? I guess they don't have World in there and their titles. Like, I don't know. Like, it feels so weird to take the NXT Champion and the North American Champion and put them on main event. Really, really weird to me. So, does this mean that the call up is imminent for Kross and for Reed? It kind of seems like it. Maddie says main event isn't canon. But like, okay. But listen, you have these guys didn't come out of nowhere. So that's why I don't understand the dark matches. I don't understand having to be on main event. If you want to watch a Karrion Kross match, he works for your company. Karrion Kross, you know, the NXT champion, the guy that was just on the NXT pay-per-view, the guy that just defeated 4 other guys to retain the NXT championship. You can't just watch one of his matches on your own programming? What about Bronson Reed? You can't just watch a match that you paid for him to do on your own network? I don't know. It's so weird to me. I just don't understand. I don't understand it whatsoever. And I hope that I'm totally cool with Kross getting called up. I think I've told you guys this a million times. Bronson Reed, not so much. Not so much. Don't take Bronson Reed away from us. We like him. We don't need him to go. He's perfect in NXT. Karrion Kross should have gone to the main roster when he returned, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I don't think that he needed this second NXT run. I don't think it's done anything for him, and I think that it's caused more problems than anything else because we don't really have any legit challengers for Kross at all. Obi James says, at least the commentary knew who they were, unlike Piper. Which is a whole nother thing, man. Like, I get it. Like, I saw some people trying to defend that, and they're like, well, not everyone watches NXT UK. And it's like, that's cool, but like, this is a scripted TV show, and I heard that some people on the commentary team were ones that called her match in the Mae Young Classic. And it's like, you're writing her a check every week. She's been on the roster for years. You don't know who she is? Do I not like Kross? No, I like Kross. I think that Kross is fine, but I don't think that Kross fits on NXT anymore. I don't think he fits. Same, you know, like, Kross, he hasn't really connected as the NXT champion, and they've booked him so like beastly and strong that like he just doesn't fit there anymore, and he can't hang with the other guys. Like, that was clear in that Fatal 5-Way match, right? For all of the NXT spotty shit that they did, Kross was never there for it. They laid him out before, and then the other 4 guys did what they do the best. Kross was never there for those. So to me, he just doesn't fit in NXT. And like, they gave him that crazy presentation and all this stuff like that. I think that Kross would work on Raw. I do, as long as they, you know, continue to book him the way that he should be booked. I think he'd be fine, but he definitely fits so much better on the main roster. His wrestling type, his appearance, everything about Kross is just main roster to me. Cool Guy says, if Kross gets called up, Kross versus Roman would be a cool match to watch. Yeah, I think that Kross would belong on Raw. If I had to pick, I think he'd be better over there because they need all the help that they can get. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just see him vacating the championship and going to the main roster at this point. I don't know. It kind of makes sense to me. Ashley says, if Vince McMahon thought Keith Lee was fat, Bronson Reed won't stand a chance on the main roster. I've heard that, and I'm not sure there's any validity to those claims. I'm not sure. Like I said, I mean, I think I say this all the time, like every show, but like, the only thing that I know is that Keith Lee isn't cleared to wrestle. And I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know what the circumstances are as of why Keith Lee is off TV. The last thing that I remember seeing is Sean Ross Sapp saying that Keith Lee is not cleared to wrestle, and that that was that, pretty much. That like, it's a personal issue. That's all you're getting. Keith Lee has said a couple of times that he wants to tell people and that he was going to tell people, but he hasn't yet. So I think we just kind of have to, I think we just got to chill. Jameer says, don't you think someone take the title off of Kross, or does he have a War Machine Asuka send off? I think he gets sent off. I think he gets sent off. I mean, who's going to beat Karrion Kross? It's not going to be Johnny Gargano. It's not going to be Adam Cole. It's not going to be Kyle O'Reilly. It could potentially be Pete Dunne. Maybe, but I just don't see it. And I know a lot of people want to see the Karrion Kross versus Samoa Joe match, which, I mean, I don't know if they have chemistry together or not, but it seems like it would be cool, right? Sounds like it would be cool. But if they did that, and then if Kross won, still in the same thing, same predicament. Vice versa, if Joe wins, then you're kind of in that same predicament as well, because Joe's just a beast. Maddie says that just isn't Kross's style. He should really stay in one-on-one matches, let the story build like Balor matches, and not have all the flips. Yeah, I mean, that's the tough thing with NXT is you have those guys that do that kind of stuff. And that's why I just think that Kross would work so much better. To me, he hasn't really connected with NXT, with the NXT fan base. He feels so out of place to me. And it's not that I don't like him or anything like that. It's just that he feels out of place. That's all. I just think he feels out of place. Anthony says Kross gives me Fiend vibes. Someone who does not need a title. Yeah, that's true as well. That's true as well. And, you know, I think that but, you know, it's always like weird to have someone vacate a championship. That's happened quite a few times here in NXT. But I don't know, like, I feel like NXT's main event scene is just severely lacking because it's been the same for the past like 5 years. Aside from a few people coming and going, it's been the same. Revel says Keith Lee being off TV has to have a reason. They were so high on him and he was set to win the US title. No way they 180 that hard. Yeah, he's not cleared. That's all I know. And I saw Myra says Priest isn't cleared to wrestle either. I heard that today as well. I didn't look into it. My fiance is the one that told me. She saw that. Because I was wondering where he's been. He hasn't been on TV in like a month now, I believe. Elvis says, if I were to pick someone to beat Kross, I'd choose Dexter Lumis. I don't feel like Dexter Lumis is anywhere near being ready to be the face of the company, though. Or face of the brand, I guess. I should say. I'm not sure that someone like Dexter Lumis would be ready for that. Maybe North American Championship, for sure. Maddie says Santos Escobar should dethrone Kross. Bounce him off the previous feud, and NXT fans go crazy for Santos. Maybe. I mean, I feel like there probably is a way to take the title off of Kross. I was thinking about that today. And it was something that I was going to post, but I ended up not posting it because of watching NXT. But it was just something that Johnny Gargano said where he was like, Kross can't out wrestle me on my worst day, which had me thinking, could they put Kross in a gimmicked match where he's at a severe disadvantage and he goes into it being, you know, overly confident that he can overcome the odds and he loses. So maybe he has some like weird, crazy, like pure technical wrestling match, right? Where that's not Kross's style, but that's Johnny Gargano can do that. So is maybe something like that. But then I'm like, that's kind of like weird, hokey kind of stuff. I don't know. Santos Escobar. And that's another thing with Santos. Like, he's great, but is he ready to lead a brand? Is he ready to be the face of the NXT brand? Because that's what you have to realize as well, is like this person is a world champion. Can they do it? I don't know if Santos is ready for that. And he's someone that I can see as the next NXT North American champion. I see that certainly happening, but I'm not sure about the NXT championship. Obi James says, did you catch the winner circle line from Franky? Yes. Yeah. The winner circle. Captain Bootleg, LA Knight. I don't think LA Knight even belongs in the main event scene. This is the most meaningful thing that he's been doing. So keep him here involved with Cameron Grimes and just do that. Has Tyler Russ been on TV recently before tonight? Yes, he was on TV a couple of times and he was managed by Malcolm Bivens. and then they kind of disappeared for a while. It's been a while. Let me see if I can get the exact date. Cage match is always pretty good. And then I'll talk about the thing that I saw earlier today, which completely went over my head. Let's see here. Matches. So Tyler Rust hasn't been on NXT since March 31st. But he was actually on quite a bit. He was on NXT and New Japan Strong at the same time. That's crazy. He was on NXT. Tommaso Ciampa defeats Tyler Rust on December 16th. And then on December 18th, he lost to Jeff Cobb on New Japan Strong. And then on December 23rd, he was back on NXT. Crazy. Crazy. Finn Balor can come back as the Demon and beat Kross. I think Finn Balor is ready to head back to the main roster, from what I understand. And I think he said that he wouldn't mind bringing the Demon back, but it's probably going to have to be a special thing. Trevor says, is anyone else confused why they have Kross defeat all his legit contenders in one match, and now he might fight someone or all of them one-on-one? That's what I thought was weird, too. Because there's no one else. And that's what I was saying, is the main event scene in NXT has been the same for so long. Think of how long those guys have been in the main event of NXT, aside from Kyle O'Reilly, because he's kind of new to the main event scene, but he's been in it for the past couple months. But Adam Cole, years. Johnny Gargano, years. Pete Dunne, years at this point. So it's just, I don't know. It's gonna get kind of repetitive. Albert says, who would you want Austin Theory to reunite with Father Rollins if he were to return to the main roster? I don't know. Maybe. I wouldn't be against it, but I don't know. I really like the whatever he's doing with Johnny Gargano. I like the pairing a lot. It's very good. Very, very good. Very entertaining. Maddie says, I think Santos is ready. They just have to build him up to it, which they have a bit. So in 4 months, then Escobar on a winning streak versus Kross. Sure. I mean, I really like Santos Escobar a lot. I think he's great. Legado del Fantasma is one of my favorite things going on. I just don't know. I guess we'll see. Gargano character is corny. Yeah, I think Johnny Gargano's time in NXT should be over at this point. How's it going, Vanch? How you doing, my friend? How are you doing? Cool Guy says, I think the guy who could beat Kross is probably Adam Cole, because he was not only a former NXT champion, but he's also been a main eventer and a top guy on the roster. But are people dying to see another Adam Cole NXT championship reign? For me, Adam Cole is one of those guys that I want to see leave. I want to see Adam Cole leave. I want to see him go to SmackDown. And it sucks to say that. It sucks because the booking has been so bad that I don't know if they would just be completely ruined on those brands. But I feel like there's a couple people that are just, they've overstayed their welcome. Wait, what is the term? I don't know. They've overstayed. They've been there too long. I want to see them go. One of them is Adam Cole. The other one is Johnny Gargano. They've been doing the same thing for years and years and years. And there's just no rotation in NXT really anymore. It's not like what it used to be. Maddie says the Fatal 5-Way makes sense because now only O'Reilly got choked out. The other three haven't had a pin submission. So you have Cole, Dunne, and Gargano still strong. I'm not a firm believer in that, though. I don't like that booking style, particularly. Like, I don't mind if you do it every once in a while. But to put every single person in a Fatal 5-Way and then just be like, well, these other three people didn't, so then you work backwards, like, I don't know, that's just not for me. It's just not for me. It works in some positions some of the time, but I don't feel like that should be a main event thing that happens. SmackDown only has 4 active women. What will they do for Money in the Bank? I have no idea. I have no idea. The old famous I didn't get pinned line. I mean, yeah, we're doing that with Santos and Bronson Reed right now, aren't we? like it happens, right? And you need to do things like that. But to me, I just felt like there was no reason to have that. You could have put those 4 guys in a fatal 4-way match and determined a number 1 contender. And then you could have worked from there, right? I don't know. It felt so weird to just start like all the way for that crazy match. Vance says Johnny and Tommaso Ciampa have decided to never ever go to the main roster. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's gonna remain true or not. I don't know. Maddie says if you had Kyle beat Gargano to lose to Kross, then you lose Kyle and Gargano, and you even had 4 total people. I mean, you could. There's a million ways. That's the whole thing, right? They're called a creative team. Creative. So you should be creative. You should figure out ways to put these people in these positions in unique ways. I don't think that falling back on these tired excuses, or not tired excuses, tired ways of doing things is something that you should just do all the time. All the time. Like, be creative, figure out new things to do, figure out ways to propel other people up, and stop letting them take people too soon. I think they took Keith Lee too soon. They took Donovan Dickhead too soon. They might take Bronson Reed too soon. They took Matt Riddle too soon, I feel like. Like, they had a lot of... Damian Priest is another one. Damian Priest could have stayed in NXT for a lot longer. And those could have been our next wave of people that are in this main event scene. And now we just don't have them. So we're relying on all these other people. And I don't know if it's because they're like, fuck no, I'm not going to Raw or SmackDown. Like, I don't have any business there. And that's why they just get skipped. But people are starting to get tired of seeing the same people doing the same thing for 4 years. It's been years. It's been years. So they just need to stop stealing these new wave of people, really. Myra says Matt Riddle is doing good to save Raw. I've heard mixed things about Matt Riddle. I'm not sure if they've toned down on the bro stuff or not, but Matt Riddle is incredibly talented. Incredibly talented. Maddie says, but you have 2 people at least taking a direct loss instead of only 1 person taking a direct loss, and you have 3 one-on-one matches left instead of 2. Just got to be creative, man. Just got to be creative. Figure it out. Do a tournament. And like, a loss isn't always the worst thing in the world either. I don't think if you do a qualifying match between who I can't remember who you said it was. Let's just say Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, right? If you do a qualifying match between them and Adam Cole beats Kyle O'Reilly, I don't think that eliminates Kyle O'Reilly from being in a match against Karrion Kross for the championship. You just have to figure out how to get there, right? So, Money in the Bank, for instance, they just did this yesterday. They had 3 Money in the Bank matches, and now next week they're having a last chance already. Last chance to qualify. Why not do something similar to that? Where it's like, okay, well, Cole beat O'Reilly, so O'Reilly was out. And then Pete Dunne beat Johnny Gargano, so Johnny Gargano was out. So now, why not have Gargano and O'Reilly, right? I don't know, just work around it. Have some sort of main event scene. You can extend it out a period of time as well. Like, because I think one of the things that I think that they do great with Karrion Kross is that he's not wrestling all the time. And I think that takes away a lot. And I think that Raw needs to learn this lesson, because I feel like they overexposed to Drew McIntyre so much. And it's probably just because they had to try to get through this pandemic era the best that they could. But man, he should not be wrestling every single week. I mean, I guess that applies to Bobby Lashley for now. But I don't think you should have your world champion out there wrestling every single week. Look at Roman Reigns. Here, let me look at Roman Reigns. I'll tell you. Let me look at Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns. Let's see how often he wrestles. It's not very often. And you feel that specialty. When Roman Reigns steps in the ring, you know that it's something that you need to watch, right? Because Roman is protected. But if I'm watching Drew McIntyre or Bobby Lashley now, in this instance, wrestling every single week. It's like none of it feels special, you know? Okay, so Roman Reigns wrestled on SmackDown this Friday, last Friday, right? 16-minute match, Hell in a Cell match, big deal. Okay. The last time he wrestled was literally over a month previous. May 16th was his last match. WrestleMania Backlash against Cesaro. 27-minute, 30 seconds. Before that, April 30th. This was on SmackDown as well. Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns. Universal Championship match, but also Daniel Bryan's SmackDown career. So between SmackDown matches, almost 2 months between those. Before that, WrestleMania 37. He has like weeks between each defense, each match. It makes him feel special. And we talk about this. Obi James, thank you, man, for tuning in. Hopefully you have a good rest of your night. I appreciate you coming out here. But we saw this in really early NXT. Back in the day in NXT, when it was on the network and it was only an hour long, they rotated through their roster like crazy. So you knew it wasn't every single week that it was like Tommaso Ciampa's here, Adam Cole's here, Undisputed Era's here, Johnny Gargano's here, Velveteen Dream's here. Like, you didn't get that all the time. Most of the time, it was just some random stuff going on, and Adam Cole was here. Next week, random stuff's going on, and Tommaso Ciampa's here. Rotate through them. Rotate through them. Make things work. Make it happen. Rotate them out. So you know when those guys are on your TV, it's something to tune in for. And then you have your takeover. And then you have your Adam Cole's, your Velveteen Dreams, your Tommaso Ciampas. You have all that stuff on that, and it feels like a pay-per-view. When you have these people, when you have Drew McIntyre facing Randy Orton every single week on Raw, then you have a pay-per-view where it's Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. It's like, bro, I just seen this shit for the past 3 months on Raw. I don't need this. I don't need this. So that's like a huge difference in things like that. And NXT does that well with Kross. Manny says WWE wouldn't need to call up the new stars if they didn't release the stars they called up, right? And that's the thing too, is that yearly call-ups, I don't think shouldn't be a thing. You should only call someone up when you have something for them to do, right? That makes sense. You can look, if I'm Vince McMahon and I'm like, bro, Karrion Kross is looking really good on NXT. He's dominant. I like his style. I like everything he's doing. I like the presentation. I want him. And then it's just like a shiny thing, right? And it's like, you know what? I need Karrion Kross right now. I need him. And then you get Karrion Kross. You have him squash people for 10 weeks. And then you realize that you didn't actually need Karrion Kross because you didn't need him for anything. So now it's just main event for Karrion Kross. Now it's just throwing him in a feud with Baron Corbin for 6 months because you didn't need him. So I think if they're going to do this stuff, they need to have like a clear vision of what's going on. Like, hey, I like what Karrion Kross is doing. He's very talented. I want him. Let's try to figure out something for him to do, right? And then, man, like, okay, he can have his NXT championship run for like 2 more months. You guys try to build someone up to take him out, right? If you can't do that, then we'll just do the classic vacate the title and move on up thing. But then, man, when he comes in here, we're gonna have like a prime almighty Bobby Lashley who's been running through everyone for these 2 months, and man, it's just gonna be crazy. And like plan it out, and then have Karrion Kross come up. Don't be like, hey, here's 8 people, and we'd have nothing to do with them. It just doesn't make sense. Like Rhea and Charlotte, yes, exactly, yes. Man, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Vance says, speaking of Roman, nobody has noticed the development in his character. He didn't have the confidence to pin anyone clean, but after pinning 2 legends, he has gained confidence and beats everyone clean. Nice, I like that. And I think that most matches should end clean. And shout out to NXT tonight for doing just that. I appreciate that. Revel says, speaking of rosters though, does Raquel have any credible challengers? I feel like they're holding off on Taya versus Raquel. No, I don't think that Raquel Gonzalez fits in NXT as well. I think that the champion probably should have been Dakota Kai. That's what I think. We're kind of doing this. If everything actually goes the way that we think it's going to go, I think that they have it ass backwards. If Dakota Kai is going to turn on Raquel and try to take the championship, I don't know if she'll be successful. Probably not. But I feel like Dakota should have been the champion. Raquel should have been the muscle. And we, as the audience, could have got familiar with Raquel and everything else. And then, you know, she could have been cheating to help Dakota Kai win all of the time. And then she's like, you know what? Like, if you didn't have me, you wouldn't be the champion. And then she realizes that, and she turns on her, and then she wins the championship, and then blam, 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 and we all care. But as of right now, like, I feel like people don't care. Just like Karrion Kross, I feel like Raquel and Karrion Kross just do not fit with what NXT is doing right now. Cool Guy says, I would still like to see Kross versus The Fiend. That would be cool. That'd be crazy. It'd be very interesting, but Bray Wyatt's got to get himself on TV. Poor guy, man. It's ridiculous. Ashley says they should have sent Murphy down to NXT. Dude would be a star there. I'm very excited to see what he does next. He's very talented guy, and I think that he would be a major player for someone. And you know, I think that's the funny thing is that, like, in WWE you see these people, and I'll use Andrade as an example because he's the latest and the easiest for me to connect to. But in WWE, in NXT, he was the NXT champion. But main roster, they never really put him where he belonged, in my opinion. I don't feel like Andrade was pushed to the level that he should have been. And I don't know, maybe that was something on his end. I don't know. I don't care about the semantics or like the ins and outs of it. I don't care. I just feel like he should have been up there, right? He kind of dabbled in the mid-card scene. Never really got out of that, right? So everyone's just like, no one really connects with Andrade because they're like, oh, he's just a mid-card guy from that developmental brand that's yellow. Like, cool story, bro. I don't care. So he leaves WWE. First things this man does, he's going to be the main event of Triple Mania for their world championship against Kenny Omega. Nonetheless, one of the best wrestlers in the world. Right? That's crazy to me. Then he steps foot in AEW. Right? The Dynamite after Double or Nothing. Shaking my fist at you, you bastard, because I was there for Double or Nothing wearing my Andrade shirt. Should have debuted then. And then last week, during his interview with JR, he said that he's coming for the World Championship, Kenny Omega's World Championship in AEW, and Miro's TNT Championship. So it's just funny to see, like, the priorities of some people. WWE had Deonna Purrazzo. They never really used her. They had Big squash her in a match, and she's been one of the longest reigning knockouts champion in NXT, or sorry, not NXT, Impact for a while. So it's always weird to see how someone falls in WWE and then where they go afterwards, and how they end up and how someone treats them afterwards. It's so crazy to me. Ashley says Buddy Murphy was the closest to Kenny Omega WWE had, and they blew it. Yeah, I think that Murphy could have been big. I do. I think the same with Chad Gable. I think that Chad Gable could have been a lot bigger of a person than they've made him out to be, because that guy is incredibly talented. Words are difficult. It's been a while since I've said that. Manny says when Gonzalez pinned Shirai at War Games, that's when it was obvious the direction they were going. Yeah, I just don't think it was the right one. I don't. Leroy, your Netflix account has been hacked. I'm sorry, my friend. Sorry to hear about that. Okay, so we're about 50 minutes in. Let's start talking about this show here. Where is my thing? Oh, I don't have it up. I gotta get the matches up so we can talk about them. Gable's become just a tag team guy, and there's nothing wrong with being a tag team guy, but I think that in the time that they had with American Alpha, I think that they could have been a lot better. I think that American Alpha could have been the second coming of Team Angle. I think that would have been great. And I also think that Chad Gable should have been the one to retire Kurt Angle. If that match wasn't going to be Thuganomics, John Cena versus Kurt Angle, it should have been Chad Gable versus Kurt Angle. I think that would have been great. They're very similar in character, and I think that Gable getting the rub from Kurt Angle on that would have been great, because you could have had this great moment, just kind of like Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair. And I know that that's like a way different, way different, but I'm just talking about in a similar thing of like, that iconic moment where Ric Flair is down and out and Shawn Michaels is like, I'm sorry, I love you, but like, I have to win this match. So he super kicks him. And then it's just this emotional thing. Like, you could have had something like that where Chad Gable he's beating Kurt Angle's ass. And it's like, look, I know that if I win this match, I'm retiring you, but like, I have to win this match. So you have Chad Gable beat Kurt Angle, big rub for him. And then afterwards, you don't have like them be mad or be enemies or something. You have Kurt Angle show the respect to get up, hugs him. They're crying, lifts his arm, points at him like, yeah, man, this is it, bro. Like, this is Chad Gable. That would have been so much better than having Baron Corbin beat Kurt Angle. It makes no fucking sense, man, at all. Rebel says, also, the almost victory of King of the Ring for Gable gave me hope. Yeah, he had some great matches. I was really, really hoping that he would win that. And that turned out to bite us in the ass. Didn't it? Jesus. Warrior says, remember when people said, let the story play out for Shorty G? Oh, man, I'm supposed to never say that. Oops. Yeah, I'm glad that's over, man. I'm glad that's over, because that shit was terrible. That shit was terrible. Trevin says, I would have had Andrade face Drew for the title during his reign, but hey, I love Andrade in AEW now, so everything happens for a reason. Yep, I'm happy for it. Fan says, but dude, it's AEW. Every AEW Dynamite pay-per-view post-show got either a debut like Miro after All Out. Yeah, I know, but I'm still mad. Still mad about it. At least we have King Nakamura now, which doesn't make sense either. Where he says retiring Angle and him possibly becoming Gable's manager would have been way more benefit than Corbin. Yeah, that would have been cool too. Angle would have been a great manager for Gable as well. That would have been so good. Not just Corbin, Constable Corbin. I didn't actually mind the Constable Corbin stuff when he was like the GM of Raw or whatever. Like, I didn't think that was the worst. But this King stuff, man. Poof. This is terrible. Rusev, yeah, I love Miro. I'm so happy that he is TNT champion, man. So happy. All right. So, like I said, 55 minutes in. Let's talk about the show and see how long we can go here. So, tonight's episode of NXT opened up with Adam Cole coming to the ring in his new music that I still do not like, by the way. I really wish that they would have let Adam Cole keep the Undisputed Era music, or maybe like just change it a little bit for him, kind of like the Shield, Roman Reigns type deal. Just, it's so iconic, and it fit Cole so well with his entrance. Like, the whole Adam Cole baby and the boom stuff, like, it doesn't hit, man. It doesn't hit the same. Does not hit the same. Ashley says, just give me the Lone Wolf back. Yeah, please. That was great. And yeah, bring back his music too. And his Titantron. That stuff was great back then. I loved that. Trevin says RVD being a manager for Riddle would have been money. Oh God. That'd be so crazy, man. So crazy. But anyways, Adam Cole comes out here and he's like, look, bro, just because Samoa Joe came back doesn't mean I'm going to be some sort of good guy all of a sudden. Like, I do whatever I want, and that's not going to change. I don't care that Samoa Joe's here. And it's not cool that he choked me out and put me to sleep last week either. That's not cool. And just because that happened, I'm not going to pick an opponent for this match. I'm not going to have a match. I'm just going to be Adam Cole and do whatever it is that I want. And then, out of nowhere, someone comes out. Not familiar with the music, not familiar with this guy whatsoever. His name's Carmelo Hayes. And this guy, I can't remember exactly how long ago it was, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago or something like that. He is the one that answered Kushida's open challenge for the Cruiserweight Championship. He had a great match with him. Of course, he didn't end up winning that match. Kushida retained. But Carmelo Hayes came out here and confronted Adam Cole. And he's like, who are you? Like, I don't even know who you are, bro. And he does the classic John Cena. Says ruthless aggression and then slaps Adam Cole right in the face. So, of course, that gets this match off to a start. And Adam Cole is actually... it was last week. Was it? Oh, crazy. But yeah, that got this match underway. So the opening match of the night was Carmelo Hayes versus Adam Cole. Cool Guy says, man, when Adam cut that promo, it reminded me of a little kid saying he could do whatever he wants to do. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of heelish. A child, an angry child. Van says, I had a crazy plan to finish the whole NXT in just 4 months. It's almost 10 years. But people on Reddit are saying to just watch every takeover and it will be fine, which makes it a lot easier. Yeah, that would be a lot easier. For sure. For sure. Watching old NXT is crazy. Like, that has the Ascension in it and like Big E in it and all sorts of things. Like, I went back and watched, I can't remember what it was, but it had the Ascension in it. It had Emma in it, and she was doing like some weird dance with bubbles, and it was weird. It was weird. Anthony says, give Corbin a wig to look like Damian Priest. Oh God. Oh God. I can see that tag team happening now just because they have a similar appearance. Baron Corbin and Damian Priest. Whew. Rebel says, now last week was Blake Christian. Was that what they called him that time? Did they literally just rename him Carmelo Hayes? I thought that I didn't know that. But okay, anyway, same guy. This match was great, and this is what I say all the time. I say this I swear, every single post show, is that to me, a loss isn't always a loss. This loss that Carmelo Hayes took to Adam Cole is not like the loss that Elektra Lopez took to Franky Monet. It's not. Two different things. Blake Christian was a different guy. Oh, really? Really? I didn't know that. Okay, so I have no idea who this guy is then. Trey Baxter was Blake Christian. Hayes answered the first open challenge like 3 weeks ago. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, now we got that underway. This was a great showing from Carmelo Hayes. Him and Adam Cole had a great open match. This is the perfect way to expose your audience to someone they're not familiar with and get them behind them. I don't know how long this match was, but I guess I can look. Cage match. Was it lagging? Oh, it might be a little bit. It might be lagging a little bit right now as well. I have dropped some frames. It looks like it's a little wonky. It should be good now though. It should be back. It's green for me, at least right now. Okay, so this match was 12 and a half minutes. 12 and a half minutes. This was a great match. Lasting for 12 and a half minutes with Adam Cole is great. Put on a great match. And Anthony says, honestly, I forgot that Carmelo Hayes lost, which sometimes happens, like for matches when you think that they're great. Like, it doesn't matter ultimately who wins and who loses, just that it was a great match, right? So of course Adam Cole gets the win, but Carmelo Hayes looks great. He looks great. His moves are great. His performance was amazing. And the sell of the Panama Sunrise was incredible. He got spiked and he just like literally was like on a handstand there for like 5 seconds before he fell over. And Adam Cole got the win. It's perfect. That's all you can ask for. And they did the same thing with Zoey Stark, but they've kind of gone downhill with her ever since. But this is how I would build someone. If this was my show, if I were Booker Man, this is the kind of stuff that you would see from me. Putting people in matches and letting them show you what they do best. Having Carmelo Hayes come out here and squash someone in 2 or 3 minutes, like, that doesn't show you their abilities. That doesn't necessarily do anything other than make them look like a beast, potentially, and pad their win-loss record, essentially. So it's kind of meaningless. That stuff is meaningless to a viewer. And if you're looking for casual viewers as well, I feel like that's even more meaningless, because when you can watch this guy and if you're one of those casuals who is just watching, but you're not like, you're not on social media, you're not looking at news, you don't care about backstage stuff, you don't really care about anything rather than just like watching it for entertainment. If I see this guy and he's being entertaining as hell on my TV, that's way better than him beating people up in 3 minutes. Like, I probably go to the bathroom during that time, or like I'll get a drink or a snack or something, because you're not really missing anything. But for this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Cool Guy says that I can actually see Hayes being cruiserweight, if not, then maybe North American champion in the future. I'd be down for one of those 2 reigns. And I mean, I think that just proves it enough with what you're saying, is that like this kind of stuff works. If people are already considering Hayes having championships in NXT, like, right? That works. It seems like it worked. And I saw a lot of people praising him on Twitter as well. So like, yes, more of this, please, because this was great. This was great. Zoey Stark versus Toni Storm was great. Yeah, but now she's like in a tag team with Io. It's weird. Ian, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Hopefully you had a good night. Ashton says, I watched an old NXT episode and Sami Callihan was on it, but he went under the name Solomon Crow. Yeah, I watched a really weird one too that had Juice Robinson in it, I believe. I don't know. It's it's kind of a shock to go back and watch some of that stuff. Ian says, hey, I saw an Insta account, Wrestling Guru, and he was saying don't ever follow Authors of Wrestling, and his fans were saying that he defends AEW just like it's his own father's company. I don't care, man. I don't know. Good for that guy. If he doesn't like my account, that's cool. That doesn't bother me. CJ Parker, yes, yeah. I'm not bothered if people don't like my content. Revel says squashes only really work when we know the person, like Taya. Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but I prefer this route. So yeah, Adam Cole looking strong. Carmelo Hayes looking great in his second NXT match. Can't complain about that. Next up, this segment was kind of weird, and this is kind of why I was talking about the main event scene in NXT. Johnny Gargano came out with Austin Theory, and he was claiming that he is the #1 contender for Karrion Kross's NXT championship. And he says that he can out wrestle Karrion Kross any day, even on his worst day. He can out wrestle Karrion Kross, and yada 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 yada. And it was like, man, he was just in a main event match with Karrion Kross, and I really, really, really want to see new people in the main event scene here. I want a rotation of people. I don't see Johnny Gargano beating Karrion Kross. And that's the point that we've gotten in the main event, where I don't think anyone in this entire roster feels like a believable, legit contender for Karrion Kross. I feel like he dominates every single one of them. There's no hope for any of them. There's no hope. So I don't know. It was just kind of weird. Pete Dunne kind of took offense to that. He came out and Pete Dunne wants to be the number one contender, and I think Pete Dunne. If Pete Dunne, I feel like if done correctly, he might be the only person to do it. Just because of who he is, he might be the one that could do it if it happens. But I feel like Kross is going to leave NXT undefeated. I feel like Kross is going to vacate that championship. So anyways, after this, what happened was Pete Dunne bent back Austin Theory's fingers as they were leaving the ring. And Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory went to William Regal's office. And this was great because we had that segment where Johnny Gargano took a pencil of William Regal's and broke it. And he was trying to push his brass knucks off of the table. And now that Samoa Joe is here, they came in as like cowards. And Johnny Gargano brought a gift. It was a pencil, and he just slid it right into his little jar there for everything. And it was really funny because they're like, hey, Pete Dunne they were tattletaling, essentially, like children. They were tattletaling on Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan. And they're like, hey, Regal, he just bent his fingers. He just hurt Austin Theory. Like, you should have Samoa Joe go out there and like choke him out and put him to sleep. And Austin Theory was like, you should throw him through a wall. And then Johnny and Austin Theory were like, you should do both. You should Samoa Joe should put him to sleep and then throw him through a wall. And he was like, no, no. You guys are just going to have a tag team match. So that was great. I really liked that. I think that Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory are entertaining, at least. So if he's going to remain in NXT, I guess it's fine. But the main event scene just needs a little shakeup. Vance says Johnny is a pure soul. It's so funny. Ashley says, never mess with another man's pencil. Yeah, you better not. You better not break someone's number 2 pencil, man. Can't do it. Anthony says Pete Dunne is like a mini Walter. Yeah, and I think that he's always just been like super serious and booked very well. Of course, with his NXT UK Championship reign as well that he had. He could be the person for Kross. He could be. I don't think so, but if there's one person on the roster that I feel like is believable, I feel like it's him. Snitch, yep. Yeah, essentially, yep. Vance says, I'm hyped for Great American Bash and guarantee if you would remove main event of TakeOver, then this episode would be better. Yeah, I thought this was a good episode. I really liked last week's episode. I think last week's episode was probably my favorite episode of NXT that I've seen in a very long time. Very, very, very long time. But this one was good. I feel like this one was able to keep up the momentum from the previous show. It did, for me, it kind of died off a little bit, but other than that, I thought it was pretty good. And I'll talk about those moments when we get to them. Ayan says, don't you think the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships are slightly turning into main roster belts? They don't have any legitimate tag teams and throwing the random matches. Yes, I do. And we'll talk about that for sure. 100%. Give me Finn versus Walter? Yeah, please. Totally down for that as well. I would love to see that. If Finn Balor is main roster bound, I would love to see him do that match against Walter first. I really would. We need that. It was supposed to happen before, so hopefully they're able to get to it. Snitches get stitches. Well, Snitches picked up the win today. Snitches picked up the win. So then we have this weird ass women's tag team match. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Io Shirai and Zoey Starks taking on Aliyah and Jessi Kamea. And I guess I'll add to this that Franky Monet is kind of chatting with Aliyah and Jessi Kamea. Like maybe she's going to overthrow Robert Stone and like take over and have like a women's trio stable team type thing. So that's interesting. But they're just randomly pairing up Io Shirai and Zoey Stark after what had happened last week on NXT. And like, it's fine. I don't mind pairing up random tag teams here and there for certain things when they make sense. But the women's tag team division in NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, they're just so bad. It's so bad, man. They did not need their own I don't get it. I don't get it. Ashley says Johnny Gargano went from being the heart and soul of NXT to being the baby daddy of NXT. Yeah, being the little baby, little tattletale man. But yeah, so they threw together Io Shirai and Zoey Stark, and of course they're gonna beat Aliyah and Jessi Kamea. That's just how Aliyah is booked in NXT. But they just threw them in this match so that they could pad a win and they could try to put them in a women's tag team championship match. Like, I get it. I mean, at least they're doing the bare minimum of doing something like that before giving them a tag team championship opportunity, which they're doing next week, which is, I'm going to skip right up to that one because, okay. So Io Shirai and Zoey Stark, like I just said, of course, they get the win over Aliyah and Jessi Kamea. After this, or I guess during the match, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell come out, and they are the current women's tag team champions. And so after that, you know, they're kind of facing each other, and Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez come out, and then Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart come out, and it's kind of like a face-off of these four teams, and yada yada yada. Samoa Joe comes out and with a bunch of officials, and they end up separating it. Later on in the show, they announced that there's going to be a women's tag team championship #1 contender match, and that is next week on NXT. Zoey Stark and Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, and Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. The winner of this match will get a shot at the women's tag team championships at the Great American Bash in 3 weeks? Question mark or so? Why? Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart, they just lost the titles. Why do they need to be in this match? Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel is the women's champion. Why is she involved in this? And I get the whole, like, Dakota Kai wants gold, but, like, you're booking these shows, right? You're scripting them. You're making all of these things happen. Keep your singles champions out of the tag team division. There's no need for them to be in here whatsoever. Zoey Stark and Io Shirai was a thrown together tag team this week. This stuff is so frustrating to me. Like, don't do these women's tag team championships if you don't have the tag teams to do them. Think of how deep, like, look at the AEW roster and how deep their tag teams are, right? They're deep as hell. And you should, if you don't have a deep roster to be able to do something like that, you shouldn't do it. NXT, the thing that they should have done if they were going to keep the women's tag team championships is they should have had the WWE ones get passed to NXT for a little bit. Then you could have had Dakota and Raquel or Ember and Shotzi or whatever, whoever it is, right? That's the tag team champions. You have them go to Raw. You have them go to SmackDown. Then they're kind of clashing with those divisions as well, right? So you can inflate your tag team division by across all 3 brands instead of them just being one. That would have been so much better. If NXT felt the need to give the women more titles, they should have given them a mid-card championship, a women's intercontinental championship, a European championship, a women's European championship, whatever it is, a television championship, whatever it is, they should have done that as opposed to doing these tag teams, because it would have been so much easier to manage a singles championship than doubles. And WWE always sacrifices their main women's championship for the titles to make them more relevant. They did it with Sasha and Bayley. They did it with Asuka. They've done it with Raquel Gonzalez now. Like, come on. Could you be any more textbook, you know? Ashton says, bring back Team Kick. Van says, by the way, we're getting to witness Charlotte versus Rhea Money in the Bank. Yeah, I saw that. Rebel says, make Kai find another partner since Raquel doesn't want to focus on tag titles. Gives Kai even more reason to turn. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. Rebel says, same reason that the only actual main roster tag team of the Riot Squad never got title feuds. Yeah, they never challenged. You know, they did the same thing with Heavy Machinery. They were the only tag team to, like, never get a tag team opportunity, and they just broke them up. They not only did they broke them up to have a feud between Otis and Tucker. Tucker got he got the turn. He was on TV for that time only, was never seen again. Then he was released, and then they just paired Otis with Chad Gable. What is the deal with breaking up tag teams that are actual tag teams and then taking the people out and then just pairing them with someone else. They did the same thing with Mandy Rose. I don't know. Ian says, at least Money in the Bank qualifying saved Raw. I mean, I'm glad that they're doing Money in the Bank qualifying matches. I think those are very important. Anthony says, Raquel is being ungrateful for the title that she has. She should know that it's not easy to win these titles. It makes you mad. It's weird to, like, they have no focus on this. So if Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez win this match, that means that there's going to be no NXT Women's Championship match at Great American Bash unless she's going to work double duty. But then, and I mean, I guess you can do this whole thing that you can have Zoey and Io pin Ember and Shotzi or something like that. So technically, Dakota and Raquel didn't take an L. But, like, if Raquel Gonzalez, like, either way for her, if she wins it, she's involved in a championship match that she shouldn't be in. If she loses it, she's the world champion taking a pin that she shouldn't be taking. It's unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. So to me, it's a lose-lose situation. I just don't understand. Eon says Heavy Machinery got one title opportunity, maybe at Stomping Grounds, which happened 2 years ago. Oh, did they? Crazy. I don't remember that happening, but Jesus. Van says, if COVID wouldn't have happened, then the Demon Finn versus the Fiend was supposed to happen at SummerSlam 2020. Man, COVID ruined. Really? That would have been interesting. But, like, so the Fiend wins that, I assume. I mean, God, maybe the Demon wins that because, like, they don't care about protecting the Fiend whatsoever. That's a man. I feel like that's a really weird match to have. Like, you should really, really build up to that. Stomping Grounds and Extreme Rules, they had 2 championship opportunities. Oh, guess I'm just talking on my ass then. Van says we got AJ versus Drew versus Randy. Hopefully it'll be good. I'm sure it will. I just hope Drew doesn't win it. Next up, NXT announced that MSK will defend their tag team championships against Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher at the Great American Bash. That is in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I was close. And Elimination Chamber? What? Wow. Van says, and Finn was supposed to work in NXT and Raw, but no crowd was a perfect way to ruin it. Interesting. And so this match is kind of interesting because I don't feel like MSK survives this match. Right? Do they? I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher should win this match. Like, they've been such a great tag team. They've done more than MSK has done. So I don't know if I see them ending MSK's championship reign so early or not, but I don't know. It seems kind of crazy going against Ciampa and Thatcher. Like, those are 2 dominant dudes. Tommaso Ciampa, former world champion as well, by the way, in NXT. So I don't know. Van says Johnny said that Indy and Austin look like kids that Candice and him baked. Oh God. Where's the second time we're getting Drew versus AJ versus Randy, by the way? First time was in January of 2020. Crazy. That's a weird match to run back. Ash says, I'm happy Ricochet, Morrison, and Riddle are Money in the Bank. 3 underutilized guys finally get a showcase of what they can do. Yeah, I think they should have. I mean, it's fine that Miz is hurt and they're kind of having Morrison do that stuff, but I feel like they should have split Morrison from the Miz a long time ago because he's great. He's great. And he could have been in those main event matches, but they were too busy rapping about poop and socks and whatever else it was that they were doing, making fun of Bad Bunny. Next up we had Warrior says MSK is winning. I see them making MSK and Grizzly Young Vets the new DIY versus FTR. I can see that. I'm always so confused with the Grizzled Young Veterans because it always feels like they're about to get that push and then they don't necessarily make it. But at the same time, like, if you have Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher lose this match, what happens to them? Are they done as a tag team and then they start feuding with each other again? Or do they just remain a tag team and start working their way back up again? So it's kind of, I don't know. It's just kind of, I don't know. How's it going, Philip, man? Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing good. Ayan says, did you see Nikki Cross's new gimmick? Yes. Yeah, I did. Yes, sir, I did. Next up, we had a tag team match, Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory. This one was made earlier in the day, like we were talking about from William Regal. Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory taking on Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan. This match was great. And to this point, the match quality has been fantastic in NXT. It was great. Very, very entertaining. Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory end up getting the win over Oney Lorcan and Pete Dunne. And I feel like this is where we kind of learned that Johnny Gargano is going to be the #1 contender for Karrion Kross's NXT Championship. Afterwards, Johnny Gargano was celebrating out by the ramp, and Karrion Kross just came out and beat him up real quick, real nice, and left. So kind of makes it seem like Kross has chosen his next target, Johnny Gargano. So I wouldn't be surprised if next week they announce that Kross versus Gargano is going to happen at Great American Bash. And I don't see Kross dropping the title to Johnny Gargano. I don't. Unless, like I said earlier, unless they do some weird sort of gimmick match where Kross is just so overconfident where he's like, look, I beat all 4 of you losers. Like, none of you can beat me. If 4 of you couldn't beat me, one of you certainly can't beat me, right? And it's some sort of weird technical wrestling match, or I don't know. It's just something that's in Johnny Gargano's favor, maybe, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. Ashley says, off topic, but where have Maverick and Dane been? I think they were on like a week ago or 2, right? I think they were on not too long ago. Should I watch the movie Tenet? I'm not sure. I've never seen it. Revo says Dane was on TV earlier last week, 2 weeks ago against Swerve. Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. That he was on TV. Vance says, sometimes I feel like WWE knows guys like Jeff, Ricochet, Ali are stars, but they are still not using them intentionally. Now suddenly Ricochet won and Riddle won, especially against Drew. Yeah, I feel like they know that. As like Ricochet, man. Ricochet is so talented, and Ali is ungodly talented as well. I don't know if I would put Jeff Hardy in that category. They've certainly been using him extremely oddly currently, but he's had his time as world champion and stuff like that. But certainly with Ricochet and Ali for sure. Next up, this is where I kind of was like, meh. Towards the end of this show, we had Franky Monet taking on someone named Elektra Lopez. I'm not familiar with her. I don't know what other names she's gone by, but this was your typical NXT squash match here to kind of showcase Franky Monet. And this is the second time we've seen her. And I have no clue what they're going to do with her. I'm not sure if they're just trying to keep her away from Raquel for a little bit, or if she's even going to get a championship shot or not. Maybe she's going to try to take Aliyah and Jessi Kamea away from Robert Stone and try to do something there. I don't know. Ricochet is his alter ego. I just kind of smashed Ricochet and Ali like together as one, like a super team. Ashley says Mustafa Ali is doing something with Mansoor currently. Poor Mansoor, man. Anthony says, why is Caden and Casey not in the tag title picture? I have no idea. It's like, I mean, they're a thrown together tag team as well, and the whole thing is like most tag teams are thrown together, right? Until they're not. So, but they've been together long enough where it's like they're a tag team now, right? So like everything is random. The Inner Circle, right? The first time that we saw the Inner Circle was like, bro, what? Everyone was like, these are just a bunch of random dudes. And it's like, yeah, they are. But now that the time has set in, now you look at them and they're like, that's the Inner Circle, right? So that's the whole thing. Like, I don't know why they're not in the tag team division. They should be. They've been a tag team for quite a while now. I don't get it. I don't get it. Revel says Ali was the saving grace for the sinking ship of the Foot Clan. He wasn't even able to save them. He tried his best, but wasn't able to. Warrior says, fun fact, Elektra Lopez was Lashley's ex during one of the segments when he was still with Lana. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. What about Cameron Grimes? Yeah, so Cameron Grimes, they announced that he would be in action next week on NXT. And that was pretty much it. I mean, he showed up and punched some guy in the face because he disrespected Ted DiBiase, but that was about it. There wasn't much Cameron Grimes. LA Knight had a video package as well where he was talking about how great he is and that he thought that Cameron Grimes was in it for the money, but apparently he's in it for the old man. And that was pretty much that. Rick O'Shea, yes. Do I have Netflix? Yes. Yes, of course. I've had Netflix since like it was a DVD service, which is really weird to think about, renting DVDs from Netflix. Cool Guy says, as much as there's the triple threat second chance qualifier next Monday, I'm actually really excited for Riker versus Elias in a strap match. That's weird. I was surprised to see a strap match between those two. It looks like they're trying to get Riker over as a babyface, which is crazy to me, but I don't know. Watch Money Heist and One Punch Man. Yeah, I need to watch some shows. I'm currently going to be watching Lucha Underground. I'm going to binge watch that. Ayan says, I heard that Becky was backstage at Hell in a Cell and Hornswoggle was under the ring. Yeah, that hand under the ring, man. I don't... That was pretty funny to me. But yeah, I'm assuming Becky was backstage. She was at the Performance Center training and all that good stuff. Does anyone here know what Blockbuster was? Of course. Yes, Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, man. That was my life. I used to go there and rent videos. I used to go there and rent video games. I used to go there and trade in old games. You know, it was like my GameStop before GameStop. You'd be able to trade in consoles and trade in video games and get credits and get other ones. It's so crazy. So crazy. But yeah, this was the first match of the night where I was kind of like, okay. Yeah, I see, but like, okay. This doesn't fit with the rest of the show. And then the next match, well, we saw a little backstage segment here with Bronson Reed talking about Isaiah Swerve Scott, and Hit Row came up, and oh god, I think his name's AJ Gray, right? I know his name's AJ for sure. AJ. They all came up to Bronson Reed, and he said, "You think you're colossal until Colossus steps up and gets in his face." Laughs at him. AJ Francis. Thank you, AJ Francis. He says everyone thinks they're colossal till Colossus walks up or gets in your face or whatever it is, and then laughs at him and says, "You're not even from North America, bro." To Bronson Reed with the North American Championship, and then Ashanti the Adonis, whatever, I think that's his name. He addressed Everrise because him and AJ were gonna have a match against Everrise next. This was good. Everyone loves Hit Row. They've been very successful. I think this is a great gimmick for Swerve, and I think everyone eventually is going to get really, really over. And I wouldn't mind Swerve as the next NXT North American champion, but also I kind of really wouldn't mind that being Santos Escobar either. Santos Escobar might be the safer route, but I don't know. I guess it just depends on whether or not they end up trying to put him in the World Championship scene, because they need to fill some slots in the World Championship scene. Ayan says, I honestly thought that the leader of Diamond Mine is that new guy, Parker. Yeah, Parker Bordeaux? No. Yeah, no. Everyone that does like insider news, like Sean Ross Sapp, and I feel like even Ryan Satin had said something, but I'm not necessarily sure or not, but he's not ready. He's not anywhere near close to being ready. Ashton says, I don't know if you saw in the venue, AJ Francis and Ashanti the Adonis look like DJ Khaled and Pharrell Williams. I didn't see. Yeah, from what I understand, Parker is not even close to being TV ready whatsoever. I would expect a long while, maybe a year, a couple years before he's on TV. Revel says, love the finisher they did too. Simple yet looked great. Yeah, it was great. Ayan says, I'll be honest with you, Hit Row theme song sucks. It just doesn't sound awesome to me. Really? I like it. I like everything about Hit Row, but I think like more so as a total package, I love Legado del Fantasma. Like they're perfect. That entire stable is just perfect to me. I love it so much. And this match, again, Hit Row against Everrise, not really for me. This was kind of the little down part that I talked about for the show. Little down part. So then they said it's main event time. Kushida versus Kyle O'Reilly. The main event. But they said that there was going to be Diamond Mine opening up tonight. They advertised it before. Now here we are at the main event. So I'm like, man, are they really gonna build up this epic match between Kyle O'Reilly and Kushida and have it end in a disqualification because they're gonna have these random ass guys come out here and cause a disqualification, cause chaos? Like, come on, man. I can't believe it. Cannot believe it. But they actually didn't. So Kushida and Kyle O'Reilly had a good match. Great main event for the show. And Kyle O'Reilly was able to reverse a pinfall attempt and get the win over Kushida. And I was happy with it. And I'm like, cool. No disqualification. Thank the Lord, because that is not something that I want to see. I'm so tired of it. And I really feel like at this point in WWE, like it really takes away from the matches. When you have a great match and it just ends on some bullshit, it's like, come on, man. Like, do we really have to go down this route for good matches ending in distractions, roll-ups, disqualifications, and stuff like that? Like, yeah, it's still a good match, but you took everything away from it. So I'm so glad that they did not do that tonight. Clean win here. Kyle O'Reilly gets the win. It kind of sucks because Kushida is the cruiserweight champion, and unfortunately he took a loss on TV, which sucks. But I think the ending of the show worked out perfectly. So Kyle O'Reilly gets the win. Him and Kushida kind of like show this sign of respect for each other after the match. And Adam Cole comes out of nowhere and starts attacking Kyle O'Reilly. They spill off to the side here on the announce table. They end up going into the crowd area in the CWC. And Samoa Joe sends out the officials and himself. And they're trying to get Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly away from each other. A little bit successful. But meanwhile, in the middle of the ring, Kushida is there. And out is this guy who's in an all black attire. He's got like black jeans on and a black hoodie, but the hood is up. And he's throwing punches like an MMA fighter would, right? That's what this whole Diamond Mine thing has kind of looked like. It's like a more MMA-ish-esque style of fighting. So he's just throwing punches to the midsection and stuff like that. And Kushida gets laid out, goes to the middle of the ring, takes off the hood, and it's Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong as the leader for Diamond Mine. I was not expecting this whatsoever. I had not heard anything about Roderick Strong returning. So, man, I am so happy for this. This is going to be so good. And the greatness doesn't stop there. Next up, Tyler Rust. Great. I've heard nothing but great things about Tyler Rust and how talented he is. The other guy, not familiar with him. A lot of people have said really good things about him. His name is Hideki Suzuki, if I'm pronouncing that right. If not, my apologies. But yeah, this group, Roderick Strong as the leader, Tyler Rust, Hideki Suzuki by his side, and then best of all. Okay, so you have these three guys in the ring standing over a down Kushida, right? And then, out of nowhere, we are blessed with one of the greatest things I have ever seen. My man's Malcolm fucking Bivens carrying the Cruiserweight Championship with a big old smile on his face, and he goes and he looks like he's about to present it to Roderick Strong. wow. Roderick Strong, Tyler Rust, Hideki Suzuki, and Malcolm Bivens. This is Diamond Mine? Yes. 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 Take my money. I was curious about Diamond Mine, but I was a little bit hesitant because I wasn't sure what it was. From what I understood, I thought that it was a bunch of people that no one really knew about and was going to be MMA-esque. But man, they really got these guys paired up together. Like, this is incredible. And I think this changes the landscape of NXT a lot. And if you were here earlier on in the show, I had said that I was very surprised to see this. And then after the show, I said that it went over my head. So earlier today, Sean Rossap posted on the Fightful Select Patreon that NXT wanted to focus more on the Cruiserweight division. They wanted to feature them a lot. They want to feature the Cruiserweight Championship, and they want to kind of build off of it and do what they can to help build that division. And it should have been right there. It should have made sense that Diamond Mine would have been some sort of Cruiserweight stable, or they would be a stable coming after the Cruiserweight Championship, especially with Kushida in the main event. I didn't connect those dots. I think that's what was intended by it, as like a little sneaky, like, I've done that a million times as well. Like, there's a lot of times where I will read something like that, and a lot of people get really mad when you post certain things that are going to happen. So sometimes they'll just do like a little sneaky post. Like when they split up the New Day, I had heard about it in one of those things, and I just put like, hey, this is a picture of the New Day for no reason. But then my hashtags were like, it was SmackDown, and then Big E, and then Raw, and Xavier Woods, and Kofi. So it was kind of like a little hit. You got to do some detective work. I'm going to make you pick up your magnifying glass, put on your hat, smoke a cigar, and do some investigating. So like sometimes I like to post some stuff like that. And this, I don't know if that was intentional or what, but that it went completely over my head. And I'm so excited for it. Malcolm Bivens, I love Malcolm Bivens, man. He's so entertaining. And I don't know why they kept giving him these weird things to do, like with Indus Sheer. Like, why? Why would you put Malcolm Bivens as the manager for Indus Sheer? Like, I don't know. That didn't make any sense to me. But Bivens and Russ, like, that was fine. That made sense. So it was really weird when they just took him off TV. But man, now seeing this as the whole picture, I can't wait. And I don't even know, one of the things that I'm considering or thinking about, I guess, more so, is this all of Diamond Mine? Or are these the three guys at the top of Diamond Mine, and Malcolm Bivens is just kind of like their manager, their leader? But maybe there's a group of all these other people, because I saw Ryan Satin, he liked something, he retweeted something, and I saw it on my Twitter timeline. It was the very first time they mentioned Diamond Mine. And it was someone on Twitter, and they had hashtag Diamond Mine or Diamond Mine in their Twitter bio. And I ended up finding like 5 or 6 of them. So I had always thought that it was just going to be a random group of like 6 dudes, and they were just going to be MMA styled. So I don't know, maybe there's more people to this group than just these 4 people, or 3 guys and manager, better yet. So that'll be something interesting to see for next week. I'm very excited to tune in next week. Ashton says, and people really thought it was Tessa Blanchard. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's because the diamond, but like, really? Ashton says Diamond Mine has an Instagram account. I saw they have a Twitter as well. I think it's just Diamond Mine WWE. Vance says, when Triple H wants something to be a secret, it's a secret. DIY breaking up, Triple H turning on Seth Rollins, Shield breakup. Triple H is the man we need. Yeah, not the sassy one. Well, I mean, people knew about this. I just don't think that they wanted to spoil it. Because the NXT Cruiserweight stuff that I read earlier, I feel like they had to have known that this was coming. We'll see. They said they were going to post some more stuff Sean Ross Sapp did on Fightful Select. So I will definitely be checking that out later. Vange says, I think we are building Hit Row versus Diamond Mine for War Games. Down for that. Down for that. And William Regal will still be there to say it. So that's great. Aeon says, I'm sorry, but can you tell me who Malcolm Bivens is? He's the greatest, man. I suggest just looking him up. He's the GOAT, man. He is the GOAT. Ashley says, Inspector Gadget has some competition in AOW. That's right. DIY breakup was incredible. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. Revel says the vignettes give off a feel that there were more members training under him. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if they were like the trainers and like leaders of the entire thing and it was just a big group of people. That would be really cool. That'd be really, really cool. Aeon says, what's your take on Bobby versus Kofi match? It's cool that Kofi is getting back in that scene and he's getting these opportunities. It's random. It's random as hell. That is for sure. But that's just the way WWE's entire championship scene has been for as long as I can remember. It's always just insert challenger. It's never like build up challenger to do this. It's always just like put this person in there and then they'll feud and then they'll exit and we'll put someone else in it. So I'm sure it'll be good. I'll be watching Money in the Bank. I'll be covering it. We'll have a post show for Money in the Bank as well. When have I started watching NXT? I watched it off and on. Man, when did I start watching it? Who was champion? I don't know, like 2018, 2017 ish, maybe 2018, I think. It was when it was 1 hour long, but it was like after they were very established. Like I didn't watch it way back in the day when it was developmental stuff. I caught it every once in a while. There was a time like back, it had to have been 2018, I think. I would watch it off and on. I would watch all the takeovers, but it wasn't something that I posted on my account very often. I got really into NXT and like doing it live like a while before AEW became a thing, I think. And then I've been covering it for the most part ever since. Only missing a couple episodes here and there. Aeon says, oh yeah, I remember Malcolm Bivens. He was a manager of someone, if I'm right. Yeah, he was a manager for Tyler Rust recently on NXT. And before that, he was the manager of those Indus Shear guys on NXT as well. Van says this will be the first time Undisputed Era won't be in a War Games match. It's crazy to think that Undisputed Era is no more, man. I miss them already. But it will definitely be the 5th time for Roddy. That'd be crazy. You've been watching AEW since the start. Yes. Yep. Yeah, I had my account running and it was on the larger side before AEW even existed. I'm pretty sure I covered All In too. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was there covering All In. I really regret not going to it. I really do. But yeah, I've been covering AEW since its inception, which is really crazy to think about that I've been around longer than AEW. It's really weird. What do you mean Undisputed Era is fine? Yes, they are fine. One day. Salva says Roddy versus Kushida is going to be so good at TakeOver. Yes. Where he says Bobby Fish had just joined the Diamond Mine. He kind of disappeared. He was on last week where he was like, they were showing him like doing a punching bag or something like that last week. It's so weird to see. It's going to be so weird to see Roderick Strong on TV and like Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole and Bobby Fish like all on TV but not together. Like, oh, it's so weird. It's the weirdest thing ever. Rebel says I think they're setting up for Fish versus Oney, but then he doesn't have much direction. Yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll see for sure. Aeon says maybe Diamond Mine can bring that guy Parker as their final member so that they can get a monster in their group. It's gonna be a while, man. It's gonna be quite a while before you see Parker Bordeaux on WWE TV. A long while. Everyone says he's nowhere near ready. Nowhere near. Sava says, I read a report that the main roster is planning to split Kross and Scarlett. I had heard that they might want her to wrestle on the main roster, but I didn't open it up and read it. That would be, oh man, splitting up Kross and Scarlett, I feel like is not a great idea. I don't know if Kross survives in WWE without Scarlett. I'm not sure. I don't think it's as bad as taking Zelina Vega away from Andrade, but it's bad, I think. Ashley says, bring back Ridge Holland to be the monster of Diamond Mine. Sure. Yeah, sure. Jan says, I heard that WWE is planning to make Scarlett wrestle. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Parker follows you. Nice. Warrior says, Parker has a look, but he's had zero prior training. Yeah, and he needs to be good before he comes in. I wouldn't want to see him be like really, really bad. Sava says most of Kross's entrance is Scarlett. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And she's doing all of his promos and like all sorts of things. I don't think that's a good idea. I wouldn't mind, like, she can do both. That's one of the things I've never really understood in WWE is that a lot of the times they're like, it's this or that, when it doesn't necessarily need to be this or that. If you want to have someone compete in a singles division and they're in a tag team, you don't have to split up the tag team. You didn't need to move Big E to SmackDown to give him a singles opportunity. He could have stayed with them. And they did it with Kofi. Like, they supported Kofi and they helped him. Same thing with like Otis. If you want Otis to be a singles wrestler, he doesn't always have to be in tag team matches. You can put him in singles matches and still have him be with his partner. You can have Scarlett wrestle on the main roster or even on the same show and still have her be with Kross. It's not one or the other. Not one or the other. Lieber says splitting Kross and Scarlett would be as bad as splitting The Fiend and Alexa Bliss. Oh man, I hate Alexa Bliss' character by herself so much. Do I think tonight was a way to bring back Rebel Heart, Johnny Gargano? I don't think so. I think they'll go on with the way for a while. It's working and it's entertaining, so I don't see them getting rid of it. Will Scarlett ever wrestle? I would hope so. I'm surprised she hasn't, being honest with you. I'm surprised she hasn't. Ian says, I heard that they are planning Kross to vacate the title and come to the main roster during the draft in August. I could see that. Revel says, Bliss cannot do the Fiend gimmick at all. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Slava says, the first 6 months of Kyle O'Reilly's push was with Undisputed Era. Yeah. I don't get it, man. It's weird. You can have supporting people. I mean, that's the whole point of a group, right? To have like brothers or family to help you through things and help you get to them. I don't see the reason why you have to split people up all the time. It just doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. Doesn't make sense. If I were doing this stuff, I would have plans for literally every single thing that I was doing, and I would plan them as far into the future as I possibly could. And if I know that things go wrong, people get hurt, plans change, maybe someone's not as great as you thought they were, so you have to adjust things. But like, I don't feel like it would be the hardest thing to make adjustments and do things. Roddy with a military haircut? Yes. Short hair tonight. Van says, okay, let me tell you something. Johnny and Adam indirectly said that they won't be moving to the main roster, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them either, but I think it's time for both of those guys to move on. Rebel says, yeah, stables tend to fall into the idea of a singles guy or a set tag team, and that's it. Yeah, it's weird. Warrior says, that's why I'm glad New Day haven't turned on each other. Groups turning on each other happens all the time. A group staying together is actually new. It really is. It really is. And the New Day is so great, there's no need to change them. And the whole idea of Big E not being able to be Big E and just being some dominant big guy is so stupid. Like, you have so many dominant big guys. Big E is unique. And the reason why Big E is in the situation that he's in is because he's Big E. So, like, stripping him of those things that make people love him is not something that you should want to do. It's so dumb to me. Van says, did you know there was a rumor that WWE management were watching AEW to improve Raw? No, I have not heard that, I don't think, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I mean, even for me, I feel like if I was in any promotion honestly. Um, I don't care what the promotion is. I would probably watch other wrestling. And if not, I would study what they're doing at least. I would be aware of the matches that they were having, how long they were, what the feuds were, who the champions were. Like, I feel like I'd be aware of all of those things. It just trying to pay attention and see who's doing what and what's working for them and what's not working for them. I would definitely pay attention. So I wouldn't be surprised if I don't think Vince McMahon is sitting down and watching Dynamite. Fuck, I don't even think Vince sits down and watches NXT. I don't think he knows anything about it. Um so I certainly would be paying attention, and I would definitely assume that there's multiple people there that are in a higher up position that are paying attention. Safa says Joe had an exclusive interview on YouTube and said order has been restored. Like, how? Didn't Diamond Mine just invade the show? Yeah, but it was. Yeah, but yeah, I don't have. I don't have an excuse. My excuse is going to be but management is under control. But you're right, because they came out and interjected when the women were fighting and when Cole were fighting as well. Ashley says, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Yeah, you should be aware. And that's one of the things that I say all the time, is that complacency is a real bitch. If you are WWE, for instance, and you're like, I'm the #1 wrestling show in the world, and that's never going to change because, like, who's going to top me? That kind of mentality is the exact sort of thing that makes you fall off and lose your #1 spot. You should always be putting your best foot forward. You should always be trying to innovate. You should always be trying to be better and up what you've done before. Always. If not, someone else is doing that, and someone else is coming for you, and they're looking to overthrow you for sure. And I don't ever think that I don't think WWE ever gets so bad that it goes out of business. I see WWE as too big of a machine to fail. So there will always be a fan base. I'm sure they'll always be popular, but I do think that maybe in a couple years that AEW could be that popular. I don't see anyone else being up there, but AEW feels like a threat to that #1 spot for WWE, especially if they're working with New Japan and Impact, and they're willing to open their doors and lend out their talent to other things. It's crazy. And I mean, look at Matt Cardona and Nick Gage, for instance. GCW, Matt Cardona is just a free agent at the moment. Everyone has been talking about them and their feud for so long. And that's like a small promotion. Like, GCW is not that big, but the buzz, man, everyone was talking about Matt Cardona and Nick Gage. So the power of things like that. And EC3, man, like, EC3 has been killing it as well. Leroy says Raw and SmackDown and NXT are 2 different planets. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I agree. And I just don't think that you should ever be complacent. I don't. That's death. It's death. When you get to that point where you're just like, I'm the best, no one else can do what I do, it's a wrap. It's a wrap because someone else is trying to do it. Ashley says, I'm still a firm believer in WWE, but it's getting harder to keep supporting them when they keep producing horrible and repetitive content every week. I feel you, man. Yeah. I feel you. I watched when I was a child. I grew up watching it. I loved it. I watched it for years and years and years, and I somehow just kind of fell out of it because I've always been pretty busy. So it just got to a point where I kind of outgrew it, I guess, and I just it wasn't like, this is stupid, I don't want to watch it. It was just, I think that I started watching it less and less often, and then when I started doing that, it just got easy to not watch it ever again. I caught wind of the Broken Matt Hardy stuff. I watched it on YouTube. I loved it. So I came back when I heard that they were, and I think this is hilarious because everyone always makes fun of the WWE Network, or at least they did, with the whole like, it's only $9.99 and get your first month free. But and this is weird too because I didn't watch wrestling at that point, and it wasn't like I followed people or anything else, but somehow, some way, I caught wind that the Hardy Boys would be returning at WrestleMania. And I was looking into it, and I saw, I saw that you can sign up for the WWE Network and get your first month free. So I'm like, hell yeah, man. I'm going to sign up for the WWE Network, and I'm going to watch the Hardy Boys return to TV because, like, that's dope as hell. And I did that, and I never canceled my subscription. It, like, hooked me in, you know? Of course, I don't pay for it anymore because it doesn't exist for people in the U.S., but I signed up for it, and I never lost it. I never got rid of it. I watched every single time after that. Attitude Era booking was a million DQs as well. The Attitude Era wasn't as great. We talked about this. I think on Sunday, I think, and it was the Attitude Era had a lot of bad booking as well, but it just had the thing that I compared it to is people watching SmackDown now. I don't think SmackDown's a good show. When a lot of people start saying like, "Hey, a show was good," I'll go look at the results and see what happened. And a lot of people always tell me that SmackDown's good, and I go through and I look at it, and it's not. Like, to me, it's not. And it's just Roman Reigns, man. They'll put an hour and 50 minutes of bad TV out and 10 minutes of good Roman Reigns, and people eat it up. So imagine if you had 4 more Roman Reigns on that 2-hour TV show, what would happen? You had, back in the day, you had The Rock, you had Stone Cold, you had Mick Foley, you had The Undertaker, you had Shawn Michaels, like, you had all sorts of these huge, crazy things. Kane is one of them, like D-Generation X, and like the feud between Stone Cold and Vince McMahon, the corporation, the Ministry of Darkness. Like, you have all sorts of things like that. So if you have those things, I think people are able to overlook the bad booking for some things. It's just the mega stars. They don't have that. The only person that I would even put on the same pedestal as any of those people is Roman Reigns. That's it. That's it. None of them. I wouldn't put Seth Rollins on that currently. I wouldn't put Drew McIntyre on that. I wouldn't put Bobby Lashley on that. I wouldn't even put Randy Orton on that. I don't think that anyone is at that level except Roman Reigns. Those people, like, it was a different time, man. It was a different time. Those people were stars. Ashton says, when I was young, I used to get pissed because it was like 1 minute till Raw started and I didn't want to miss anything, but now it's the opposite. Yeah, I agree. Van says, hey, SmackDown also got Pat McAfee, man. We're still hoping for Adam Cole. Yeah, I think that'd be great. Roman ain't even on John Cena's level. No, I don't consider him to be like on that level, but I feel like Roman Reigns is one of those guys that is way above anyone else. Anyone else. Ashton, you put Randy Orton up there? I would consider people like Randy Orton and Seth Rollins on that list if they were booked better, but I don't think that they're on that list. I would have put Randy Orton on that list when he was kind of returned to the legend killer type stuff, when he was hitting people with concertos and doing all that stuff. I would put him up there. But right now, like, Roman Reigns is so fucking popular. Like, everyone is talking about Roman Reigns every single week. Roman Reigns is all people care about on SmackDown. So that's why I put him at that level currently. This is just the booking. Not to take away star power from anyone else, but I just don't think they're, in today's climate, I don't think they're as talked about or as important with what they're doing. What about Edge? I mean, Edge is he's not even on TV. So, didn't think you're still live. Yes, I'm still here, but I'm about to go because it's been 2 hours, man. So I got to finish my notes for AOW Underground too, but oh man, I got me some good notes. Some real good notes. We're going to know everything that has ever happened. Roman can never turn face. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird, that's for sure. It's going to be very weird when that happens. Sava says, but then you also had Mae Young giving birth to a hand and Al Snow eating his dog. Yeah, there was a lot of really bad stuff in the Attitude Era. There was a lot of really bad stuff. But I think that star power just kind of took it over. And, you know, there was a lot of really good characters back in the Attitude Era as well. That a lot of people connected with. So even like your mid card or your jobbers, they had the fucking Job Squad, man, with Al Snow. And Al Snow was over as hell. Like when he came out and it was like, what does everybody want? You got 20,000 people screaming head during his whole entire entrance. Like he was over. He was so over. And yeah, the matches were shit, and he was always losing. But like the characters were over. Al Snow, Godfather, Val Venus, for Christ's sakes, the guy that takes off his towel and supposedly has like a huge dick or whatever his gimmick was. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you had over on TV, and like everyone was buying it back then. Marcel says if Moxley was booked in WWE like he was in AEW, he would be the biggest babyface in wrestling. Yeah, it would be crazy. Because when he came back, I didn't really care for Dean Ambrose. I just, it wasn't for me. But Jon Moxley, man, yes. Jon Moxley, hell yes. Did I watch the Triple H Reign of Terror? What is that supposed to be? What's the Reign of Terror? What am I doing tomorrow? We're doing AOW Underground tomorrow. AOW Underground. Probably at like 5-ish or so. Fickle says, even if Roman does turn face, I'll still like him. I don't see that happening anytime soon, though. I certainly wouldn't pull the trigger anytime soon. They're gonna have to do some crazy thing. You heard Doggo? Yeah, he got locked out of the room because my fiance's trying to sleep. He's not happy about it. 2002-2005 World Title run by Triple H. Yeah, I was there for that. Yeah, no, I won't cancel it. We'll be good to go. We are good to go, my friend, for tomorrow. Vance says, okay, remember 5 minutes ago you talked about hard work and the time you are relaxing, someone out there is already working and all that other stuff. Money Heist is exactly like that. Watch it. I will, man. I will. I promise you. I'll watch it. The dark wedding between The Undertaker and Stephanie. There was a lot of crazy things from back then. Already reporting that Vince wants Roman to turn face. I had heard a report on something like that. If they do it too soon, man, they're going to make a huge mistake. Dogs for me. Sava says, if this was the main roster, the main event tonight would have ended at DQ. Yeah, exactly. They did it perfectly. All right. That's going to do it for me. We're a little bit over 2 hours. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I said, so tomorrow, AEW Underground, because Dynamite is not on. So we'll pick up where we left off for AEW Underground tomorrow. That'll be about 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursday will be the day off. Friday, there is no AEW Dynamite on Friday. It is on Saturday tonight, so don't forget that. So with that being said, we'll be on the gaming channel on Friday for an episode of FFBW, probably the same time as SmackDown starts as well. So Wednesday, AEW Underground, Thursday off, Friday FFBW, Saturday I'll have full coverage of AEW Dynamite, and then we'll be doing a post show as well. Do a Q&A on Sunday. Yeah, maybe it's a lot of streaming. I'm trying to figure out like a new schedule for things. We'll see because I do want to do one again. It's been a long time. To the moon for you, yes. Jan, you are headed to the moon. There you go, my friend. Yeah, we'll do another Ask Me Anything type deal soon. That was a lot of fun. I also wouldn't mind doing the call stuff again because that was a lot of fun with Discord as well. I just got to try to... My schedule is getting very tight. I'm picking up a lot of projects here. So I'm just trying to figure out how to utilize my time and make sure that we can still do these streams and stuff. So I'll try to get them figured out. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate all of you. And hopefully I'll see you all on the gaming channel tomorrow. Let me put that in here if you're not already there. YouTube.com/Phantom Spec. We'll be there tomorrow for AOW Underground. Should be a great episode coming off of Money in the Bank. And I got notes. More importantly, I got notes. So we'll know everything that has ever happened in AOW Underground. So thank you guys so much. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Peace.